All right, let's jump right into talking about refueling, guys. We are going to start off with two assumptions here, okay? The first is that you gave a max effort for more than a half of a game. Now, if you're playing the BABC way, I know you're playing both ends of the court, and if you're getting in there and getting your quality minutes in, then I know what you have done is depleted your glycogen stores in your muscle. And that's part of the second assumption. The second assumption is that this type of recovery is for an athlete that is using sugar as their primary fuel source. So we're going to go with those two assumptions, all right? One, you're playing the BABC way. You've played more than a half, and that you're using blood sugar as your fuel source. So the problem is, during this recovery, if you guys don't do what you're supposed to do on the refueling side of things, your body's not going to have the fuel it needs to get back up to normal. So the problem is, when you use your muscles, you're depleting the muscle glycogen, and that's basically the muscle fuel that your body stores at or near the muscles, okay? The solution is simple. We need to restore that muscle glycogen. How do we do that? Again, it's pretty simple. We eat a quality carbohydrate to help refuel that system and refuel those muscles and give them what they need to. Now, it's not quite as simple as just go grab a Gatorade, and we're going to get into that now with a little physiology insight. All right, so we know the first problem when it comes to fueling, and that is our body has depleted its glycogen. So how are we going to replenish that? We're going to replenish that by eating carbohydrates. It's that simple. Or is it? Now, it's not that simple because of this thing called blood sugar regulation. You see, when you eat that carbohydrate, the more refined carbohydrate that it is, meaning the closer it is to actual table sugar, the more quickly it's going to go into your body's system and get into your blood system. Now, after a big, heavy bout of exercise, like right after a game where you just played 30 minutes, both ends of the floor, then grabbing that Gatorade, which is almost pure sugar, and drinking it might not be a bad idea, particularly if you've got a game coming right up. Why? Because your glycogen stores are empty. So you drink that Gatorade. It goes into your stomach, and your stomach breaks it down very quickly into the sugar it needs to, and it starts circulating in your blood to your muscles. It comes flying by and goes knock, knock, and your muscles go, who's there? And they go, blood sugar, and they go, come on in. So they get replenished very quickly. However, if you haven't played that much, or for whatever reason, it hasn't been that hard of a workout for you, that big of a stress in the game, or you didn't play that much for whatever reason, and you take in that big amount of Gatorade, your body is going to take in all of that blood sugar, and it's going to go to those muscles and say, knock, knock, who's there? And it's going to say blood sugar, and they're going to go, we don't need any blood sugar. So then your body's got to find a way to regulate that. And the danger to that is that you're going to set up a sugar crash or an energy drop, okay? So here's what we're looking at, guys. If you do everything perfect after your game and you eat something, your body is going to take those carbohydrates, slowly release them into your bloodstream, maximize your muscles. And so then when you get into your game, come that game time, this is that next game, your body is fully recovered. You've got maximum blood sugar as well as all of your muscles being refueled. So during that game time, you are in peak condition. You start off with your muscles being full with the glycogen that they need, and you've got the right amount of blood sugar floating through your system to keep you going for that full time. And then afterwards, what's going to happen? You're going to be tired, you're going to use some of that energy, and you're going to drop down. That's fine, okay? Because then you're going to go into your next recover and rephase, your next recovery and rebuild cycle. So that's fine. However, let's say that you take in too many carbohydrates. All right, either because you didn't play that much and your body didn't need that many carbohydrates, or you just said, well, Hank said carbohydrates is good, so I'm going to go dig into them, right? So you drank 3 Gatorades and 2 slices of pizza. Well, what happens there then is your body struggles to digest all of that, and then all of a sudden it releases a whole bunch of blood sugar into your system as it starts to refuel that, and you get this huge spike, and then you come crashing down during the game. All right, so you can see that's not optimal. Up here, we got a 5-star situation when we get that timing perfect. Down here, we get a nice little burst of energy, but it's not where we need it. We're going to come off sluggish, we're going to get a burst, and then we're going to crash in that fourth quarter when we need to be there most, right? Now, you might be saying, well, Hank, I'm a little scared there. I don't want to eat anything. That's not an option either, right? Because if we come down here, you are not going to if you don't take in any carbohydrates in between your games, in between your bouts of stress and refuel your system, then you're not going to refuel and have the glycogen that your muscle needs to do the job that it needs, okay? And your blood sugar overall is going to be low. So you're going to have a subpar performance during that time, and you're going to be even more depleted coming that third and fourth quarter. The problem is simple. We depleted our carbohydrate stores. Now we need to replenish them. The art of the science is figuring out what fuels your body responds best to so that you can begin to know, okay, I just played a hard game. Which fuels do I need to eat and when do I need to eat them so that I maximize my blood sugar release as well as my muscle restoring. Let's go over a couple of quick guidelines to help you refuel during your weekend. The first is, it's your responsibility. It's not your mom's responsibility. It's not your coach's responsibility. It's not your teammate's responsibility. It is your responsibility to make sure you hydrate and refuel properly in between your games. And it's your responsibility to make sure you have what it is you need food-wise or however you decide to refuel in between games. Nobody else's, all right? Number one, whose responsibility is it? Your responsibility, all right? Number two is that we want to make sure that you eat as many real foods as you can. I know there's lots of different supplements and things that are out there, but guys, I highly encourage you to eat real foods. Particularly on game days, you want to, and in between games, you don't want things that are going to bog down your digestive system, so you want to keep it simple and light. You know, fruits and some veggies, maybe not some veggies, but fruits are going to be much better than chips and soda and all that other garbage, okay? A handful of nuts, give you a little bit of fat and protein so that your body doesn't release that blood sugar too quick. Now, you can experiment with bars and other powders and whatever else you like. Okay, but I'm going to encourage you to eat as many real foods as you can, not just during your weekend, but as we've talked about before, during the week, right? You want to be a primetime athlete, you got to fuel your body and give it the things that it needs to fuel. But today we're focusing on just what you need for the weekend. So you want to have some carbohydrate things that you can eat that are going to digest quickly. Again, fruit is a real good one there, all right? That goes to my third guideline. The weekend is not the time to experiment. All right? If you want to try a new food, a new supplement or something, try it before practice. Try it after practice. The time to try it is not on a game weekend because you don't know how your body is going to respond to it. Okay? It might slow up your digestion. You might have something in there that gives you cramps and puts you out for the next game. It might release in your body way too quick and send you on a nice high and then you come crashing down. So I'm going to encourage you, if you want to try new and different foods, try them during the week, during practices. Putting it all together. Okay? Whose responsibility is it? It's your responsibility. So what do you need to do? Well, what you need to do is come up with a game plan that recognizes how much food and fuel you're going to need. So let's just say this is a typical Saturday, okay? You've got 4 games that you're going to play. So that means you've got 3 on-site recovery modes that you need to do. So you need to come up with a fuel plan for each one of these, okay? It might be something as simple as I'm going to have, bananas, 2 bananas and a handful of peanuts and Gatorade. So what's that mean? You need 6 bananas with you, okay? Or whatever you choose to eat. But you need to come up with that game plan. It's your responsibility. So you need to pack for the day or you need to pack for the weekend by knowing what's coming. Because if we manage it If we manage this stress cycle, we can do a whole lot better. And that's our goal with all of these R's, right? Refueling, releasing, relaxing, rebooting. It's maximizing this. So if we step back before we jump into the weekend and all of a sudden we're scrambling and going, hey, is there Gatorade over there? Hey, can I have that bag of chips? Hey, let's order pizza. If you take a few minutes, guys, before the weekend to sit back and to look at your weekend in this wave cycle, then you could get ahead of the competition by recognizing what you're going to need. And by doing so, you're going to have it when you need it.